Hello, my name is Mariano, and welcome to my presentation on Snyder versus Phelps, a deeply emotional and important case that shaped how we interpret the First Amendment in America. I explain the background, arguments, outcome, and long-term impact on the case. Let's begin with the background. In In 2006, U.S. Marine Lands Corporal Matthew Snyder died while serving in Iraq. His funeral was held in Maryland. During the service, the Westboro Baptist Church, a group known for its anti-gay and anti-military views, organized a protest nearby. They stood about 1,000 feet away on public property and held signs that read, "God hates facts. Thank goodness. Thank God for dead soldiers, and you're going to hell." Although the protest didn't physically disrupt the funeral, the message and timing was deeply painful for Matthew's father, Albert Snyder. After seeing coverage of the protests on TV and online, Snyder claimed he experienced severe emotional distress, including depression and sleep problems. He decided to sue Westboro Baptist Church. Let's talk about the legal allegations Snyder sued for. Is intentional infliction of emotional distress, invasion of privacy, and defamation. His argument was that this wasn't just a protest, it was a personal attack timed to coincide with the most painful day of his life. Snyder believed that the church crossed the line from the public discourse into harassment. On the other side, Westboro Baptist Church argued that their protests were about broad moral and political issues, not about the Snyder family personally. They emphasized that they stayed on public land, followed local laws, and spoke out on issues of public concern such as war, government policy, and religion. So, what happened in court? A jury initially awarded Snyder 10.9 million dollars in damage, later reduced to $5 million. The court agreed that the protest was intentionally harmful, but when the case was appealed, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals reversed the decision, saying that the protest was protected under the First Amendment. Snyder then appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. Now let's look at the Supreme Court ruling. In a decision issued in 2011, the justice ruled 8-1 in favor of Westboro Baptist Church. Chief Justice John Roberts wrote the majority opinion. He emphasized that the First Amendment protects even deeply offensive speech, especially if it's about matters of public concern and is carried out lawfully in a public space. The key phrase in the ruling was, "As a nation, we have chosen to protect even hurtful speech on public issues to ensure that we do not stifle public debate." Not everyone agreed. Justice Samuel Alito dissented, saying that the protest was a vicious verbal assault on a private individual during a moment of deep grief. He argued that the First Amendment doesn't give people the right to brutalize others emotionally just because they do it from a public sidewalk. Now let's look at the legal concept behind the decision. First is the public concern doctrine. This means speech that relates to politics, religion, or public policy, receives the strongest protection under the First Amendment, even if it causes emotional harm. Second is the time, place, and manner rule. The governments can regulate how and where speech happens, but they can't regulate the content of speech unless it involves threats of or violence. Finally, the court said emotional distress, no matter how severe, cannot override constitutional protection unless the speech is defamatory, intends, incites violence, or includes false factual statements. The decision sparked massive public debate. Many believe the court made the wrong moral call, even if it made the right legal one. Critics said it put the rights of hate groups above the dignity of grieving families. Supporters of the ruling argued that the freedom of speech isn't meant to protect popular opinions, it's there to protect commercial and offensive speech because that's what keeps democracy healthy. This case still matters today. We constantly hear about hate speech, online harassment, and protest rights. Snyder versus Phelps reminds us that free speech has limits, but emotional harm is not one of them, unless the speaker also breaks another law. We see the same tension in debates over social media bans, protest zones, and cancel culture. The ruling set the standard offensive speech stays protected as long as it's about public issues and follows the law. In conclusion, Snyder versus Phelps is a powerful sample of how the law prioritizes freedom over feelings. The court didn't say the speech was right, they said it was protected. That's a huge difference. Even when we hate the message, we must protect the right to speak it. That's the price and privilege of living in a free society. Thank you for watching.